The Chaunce Hayden Show is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at freshbooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ. Location provided by Sapphire New York. Visit them at nysapphire.com.
Welcome to the Chaunce Hayden Show from the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in New York City. And we are here basically in a back room that looks out over the entire dance club. And it is the most difficult place in the world to do a show. And all week long, I've been thinking about the last show we did, which I had tons of complaints from Andrew, who I work for, Mike Wright, who is the COO here at Sapphire, and I'm thinking...
Who I work for.
Who I guess you work for, Andrew. By the way, Sean is off this week, so it's just me and Andrew in the studio. And all week long, I'm thinking, because I take this job seriously, I take the show seriously, and I want to do a good show, and I want people to watch and listen and care about what I'm saying. And at the end of the last show, everyone just said, this is what I heard at the end of the last show. Man, that sucked. Yeah, you really sucked this week. Dude, that really sucked. Yeah, nobody really watched that show. Yeah, that didn't really work this week.
I don't think you were bad, Chauncey. I don't think you were horrible.
But even that's condescending. I didn't think you were horrible.
But listen, don't you want people to tell you when you don't do a good
No, but
job?
this, all right, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because this is what I heard at the end of the show last week, and I don't know who's listening now. I don't know if anyone even listens anymore. There's no way of knowing. I'm assuming I'm talking to myself in this back room of a strip club. But if anyone is listening to this show, this is what I heard last week. Here's Mike Wright, who's sitting there taking notes and having a meeting on a corner. I'm doing a show, and he has people coming in having an office meeting in the corner of the room in the studio. And if that's not distracting enough, Mike comes over to me and says, yeah, you know what you got to do, Chauncey? You know what I don't think the problem is with your show? And just that alone, when someone says to you, know what I think the problem is with your show, which basically is the same as saying that you suck, he says, yeah, you said too much about Casey Anthony. You gotta keep changing the topics. You gotta keep talking about other things. Don't just stick on one thing. You know, you just start talking about, oh, you're a ginger. Oh, you're ugly. Oh, Casey Anthony. You know, you gotta like quick hits. Keep moving. And so I'm listening to Mike, and I'm pissed off because he's telling me basically I sucked after struggling through an hour show where the guest didn't show up. While that's happening, I'm looking at the right side of my face, and I see Andrew heading towards me like a shark. Andrew comes walking over, and you can hear the music. Dun, 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 dun. Andrew comes up to me and says, you know what the problem is with your show, Chauncey? And I turn my head and go, what? What's the problem with my show, Andrew? And he says, you got to talk more about Casey Anthony. You don't talk enough about things. You're all over the place. Like, talk more about being a ginger. Talk more about Casey Anthony. You can't make this up. So I'm listening to these two guys, one telling me one thing, one telling me the other. They're both telling me I suck. And that's what it's like doing a show here. And in the background, all you hear, and you can probably even hear it now, is the bass of the DJ booth, which is on the other side of this pencil-thin wall. So you hear boom, 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 boom.
Chaunce, I'm going to ask you, when Mike said we were going to this room, you thought it was a promotion. You thought, wow, we're getting rewarded by going into this room. It's a demotion. It's a
demotion. It really, let's call it what it is here. We got kicked back here because they don't want us in the VIP room. We're now in the back of this strip club, and it sucks. It sucks. It does. It's dark in here. It's loud, and there's no table. Like I think I need a desk, Andrew. Like I don't think I can sit on a couch like this. I feel like my back hurts. Like I'm hunched over this microphone.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, we decided you're going to sit on one of those chairs, right?
Yeah.
Last week I come in, Shauna tells me that you're demanding a couch.
No, you forget what happened last week. I'm going to explain to you.
Your great interview with Sid Rosenberg. What's his name?
Sid Rosenberg. Last week, I did sit on a chair. You forget. We moved this whole couch to the other side of the room, took that chair and put it here, and that's why I did the show last week. You completely forget that this chair was against that wall, and I sat on that chair right here. And no matter what you do, you're sitting there totally exposed. You never know where to look. The guest is over here. The producer's over there. I'm looking out over this strip club where I can see people getting lap dances, and I gotta tell you, that's distracting. This room is distracting. It bugs me. Everything bugs me, and it's hard to relax. And then there's people walking in. There's waiters walking in. They don't care.
There's business deals being done in the corner.
There's business deals being done. That's not how you do a show. It's not. I mean, I understand the initial vibe here was to have like a lounge, kind of cool, hip room where you walk in while you're having a conversation with somebody, and a waitress in a cute little outfit brings you a drink. That's not what this is.
It hasn't happened.
That hasn't happened. I'm not getting that vibe. I'm seeing a bunch of weird lights that are blinding me. I'm hunched over. There's no table. There's loud music. I feel like I'm in a storage room. I feel like I'm in a giant storage room.
You can come to Queens every week.
No, I'm not coming to Queens every week.
It's your other option. You can come to Queens.
No,
we're gonna studio set up
I
for you.
am not coming to Queens. It's too
You
far.
are coming to Queens.
I am not coming to Queens. And
Yes,
first
you
of
are.
all, Mike wants us to do a show from here, and I like coming to a strip club. And it's not that.
I had a talk with Mike before you came here.
All right, what did Mike say?
We sat here and we spoke about you the entire time.
And you both said how much I suck.
We had a discussion about your show last week. We said it wasn't your fault. It was that you were taken out of the whatever was supposed to happen. Well, by the way, I was right once again. I told you he wouldn't show up.
Right. Last week, no, that part sucked. I do admit.
Oh, my God.
But that part sucked. But you know what? I didn't plan for anything else. And I hate when people start telling you that you suck because you should have done this or should have done that. I know. I've been doing this for a long time. I know how to do a web show. Believe me, I know how to do it. I know what to talk about. Last week, I thought I'd be interviewing Sid Rosenberg, who's a sports announcer with a drug problem. He didn't show up. So, all right. So, you know what? Maybe I should have had a plan B. I didn't have a plan B.
He did show up.
He didn't show up.
No, he did show up. As soon as the show was over.
He showed up when the show was over. I know.
To the club.
I know. But you know, there's another part of this is that we haven't done a show in a couple of weeks, and when you don't do a show every day, like Andrew, you do a show every day. Every day you're on the air.
Not anymore.
No.
No,
Really?
I'm
How often
only
do you do
on
a show.
I'm on. Well, does this count as me being on?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so Jessica's bringing you a drink, by the way.
Thank you, Jessica.
Okay, so I'm on Mondays. I'm on for an hour on Monday.
Right.
I'm off Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday, so I'm supposed to be off today.
Oh, by the way, we're already talking too long about this. We're supposed to keep moving. What's that? What's on ESPN when they have the bell? Bong! You got to change this.
The dot of the minute.
Yeah. Like, we're already, according to Mike, we've already discussed this too long.
Yeah, we've been on the air for about
3 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Way too
Way
much
too much.
time on this topic. I'm sorry, but please, you got to
No,
tell me
so
what were
I'm
we
on,
saying?
I'm on 3 days a week.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica.
Very professional.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She hates
They
you.
can't hear me.
They-
They catch
I know. All right, go ahead. Tell me.
She hates you.
I know.
Yeah. No, I'm on
That's
3 days
Jessica's
a week.
wife is sitting here drinking, looking at me.
I'm on 3 days a week. That's it.
Andrew's wife.
Maybe cut 'em up.
Andrew's wife. All right, I'm sorry. So go ahead.
3 days
Andrew.
a week. That's all I'm on.
But you get you get some sort of rhythm when you do this once a week, and you're in a room with a loud, booming sound, and there's distractions, and people are walking in and out, and waiters are coming in looking to see if anyone's here, getting a lap dance because they don't realize we actually do a web show from here. It's real hard to get into a flow of any kind of hosting duties.
No, you're absolutely right.
It really
you're
is.
100%
It's
right.
it's
Yeah.
difficult. So you just sit here and you try and do the best you can, but I've done this before. I did a show 5 days a week. I know what it's like to get into a rhythm. You have 1 hour. It's 1 hour. It's not 3 hours. You have 1 hour. So in that sense, Mike is right. You do got to keep it moving. You can't just talk about one thing. I get all that. I just hate these Monday morning quarterbacks that tell you how you should do it. I know how to do it. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know who I am. I know what I do for a living. I know everything. Like if you have a bad show, the worst thing you want to hear is somebody say, "You suck because." You suck because. And when you have two people telling you suck for two different reasons, that's a billion times worse.
I'll tell you why the show is bad. I'm going to tell you. I think you bring in other people that you've never put on the mic, and then you start panicking when they don't perform at the level you want them to perform at. And then you start looking at me the entire show. And people don't realize it because Shauna knows to take the camera off of you when you give me that what the fuck is going on look. And then I just look at you, put my arms like this.
You
and just
did. No, you quit on the show last week.
Oh.
You quit early.
Okay, how early did I quit?
Pretty early.
Like
the first 10 minutes.
First 10 minutes. I was done.
I know.
That
doesn't help. So I'm stuck with this blonde girl who, I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to get into it. But last week, all right, let's just start over. Last week sucked. I learned my lesson. I'm never going to book a guest and worry that if they don't show up, there's nothing to do. I'll always have a plan B. I'll always plan for a show by myself. And if the guest shows up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. But I'm not going to live. I'm not going to suffer. I'm sensitive. Like I get upset when people tell me I suck. Because believe me, you should appreciate that I take this job serious. That it bothers me. Like it bothers me.
Does that bother you? Like
it does. It's stuck with me all week.
How about when Jessica's like picking apart your beard? Does that bother
yeah,
you?
That does too.
See, I told
your wife has done some pretty horrible things that have destroyed my self-esteem since I've met her. I love Jessica. I love her. I think your wife is one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. I think she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met, and I think she has a heart of gold. I really do. All those things are your wife, Jessica. I also
hurt your feelings?
I also think that you are so cruel.
Oh no.
And you don't even understand it.
No.
I don't think you realize. You know what it is? Because I don't think you realize the damage. I'm damaged goods. Like I am. I'm a cutter. You know what a cutter is?
Yes. Oh no.
When I was 8, I'm going to tell you a story about myself, and this is going to give you some insight to what you're dealing with. And I don't think I've ever even said this. Honestly, I'm going to tell. You want a show? I'll give you a show. This is honest to God, and there's a lot of things I want to talk about tonight. This was not one of them. But I'm going to tell you something about myself that I've never said publicly. All right. When I was 17 years old, and it lasted till I was about 21, I would sit during my years in the Navy. I was in the military, and I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and I lived in the barracks. They had an air base. I had my own room. And you know what I would do every Friday night and Saturday night? I would get a 6-pack of beer and cashews. And I would drink the whole 6-pack. I'd eat the whole jar of cashews. Then I'd go up to the mirror. I'd make a fist. And I'd punch myself in the face until I had 2 black eyes and I could not see out my eyes. And I would do that every single weekend. So the whole week I had 2 completely shut black eyes. I mean, shut. Like I fought Mike Tyson. And everyone would say, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" And I would just say, "Oh, I got into a fight. I got into a fight in a bar. I got into a fight." I was doing it to myself for 4, maybe 5 years, every Friday and Saturday night. Beat myself to a pulp. Like I would beat myself so bad, blood would come out the corners of my eyes, and my nose would bleed. Like I would just beat myself. So this is who you're dealing with. I'm a fucking psycho. Like something's wrong with me, and I just grew out of it. Like when I turned 21, one day I think I just stopped. And I don't know why I stopped. I think I just got tired of it. But for 5 years, anyone, and I bet you there are people watching this that have done it to themselves or know someone. It's not cutting. It's when you actually bleed. This is it, but it's got to be a form of that. Some form of self-mutilation. And I did it for years, and I actually think I had brain damage from it. I think I beat myself so bad for so long that a lot of times I forget my thoughts, or I'll stutter over a word, or I'll sound like I'm drunk, and I honestly think it's from beating myself in the face so hard for so long.
Now I'm going to beat myself up when I get home because that's awful.
And my point of the story is...
Let me ask you then.
Yeah.
So would you prefer for people to coddle you for this reason?
No.
And lie to you?
No, I love your honesty. I love your honesty. But no, I love your honesty, Jessica. I love your honesty. And thank God. But... But you make me feel.
You want to kill yourself?
All right, the first thing you said to me, which really hurt me, was when you said I reminded you of one of the characters from Sex and the City. Yeah. And I was going through a really rough time. I've been going through a rough time for months, but it was especially a bad week, and I remember how good I felt. Man, Andrew, he always sends me messages over the computer in the morning. And he said, Jessica, by the way, Jessica says you remind her of a character from Sex and the City. I was so happy. It made my day.
Oh, no.
It made my day.
What did you think she was? You thought
I'm
like
thinking
Mr.
Mr.
Big.
Big. I'm thinking one of the.
Aiden.
I don't watch the show all the time. I mean, I hardly ever watch it. So I'm thinking it's got to be somebody attractive.
Hold on. You thought that you looked like Mr. Big, and then
I'm
I
not
was
saying-
going to say that you looked like Mr. Big or Aiden, which are the only two other main characters that are the Scottish dude that
I don't watch the show that much. I thought maybe there was an episode of a hot guy who looks something like me that I reminded you of. I don't watch it religiously. I just thought Sex and the City, it's got to be a good thing. It can't be bad. It can't be bad. So I go online. I start looking up characters to this show, and I'm looking for. It seemed like the whole morning, and I'm like, it can't be who I think it is. It can't be. It can't be.
It's the guy from California.
It's the big fat guy. It's the big fat bald guy.
He's not fat.
He looks like who's that bald boxer with the big arms?
Butterbean.
Butterbean looks like Butterbean.
Looks like Coco from the show.
I don't want to be
From my show.
Butterbean.
You know what I think it is? Jessica's a Stern fan. More than I am.
So you think it's okay
So
because you're Jessica's a Stern fan?
No.
She thinks it's okay
No,
to be
I
cruel.
think what it is, because I know you from the show. I've known Chauncey for 15 years, and you too. You know, growing up, you would always hear Chauncey.
But you
call in.
don't know me for 15
No,
years.
but he knows. See, here's the thing. She thinks you have a really thick skin
No.
because of all the beating you took on the show, and you've dished out, and you've done a lot of bad stuff to people.
Right.
So you know what? This is you give, but you
Dude.
can't take any.
You're saying it's karma.
It is
Coming to-
karma.
You think that all the cruel things I've done in my life, the rooster has come home to hen, or what happens to the rooster? Or the hen or the duck? The duck comes home to masturbate. Something happens.
I'm sure that's the same.
So you're saying it's all the bad karma in my life? Because I got to be honest, the last 3 months have been hard, and I watch Mike and racing, and no, change the subject, not that again. But I really am fucked up.
You must think I hate you then.
No, I think you love me. In fact,
do.
I think you really care about me.
I do.
And I don't think you understand the things you say. And it should, because you know what? And Jessica, let me say this. Please let me say this. If you told anybody else the things that you tell me, I don't think it would be a bad thing. I don't think anybody else would take it the way I take it. So you're telling me like you're talking to a normal person. Mm-hmm. I'm not normal. Like I take things. This is why I'm so fucked up about Dina. Mm-hmm. This is why I'm so fucked up about all the things that have gone on in my life the last few months, because I have such low self-esteem, and I don't think people realize how bad my self-esteem is, mm-hmm. that they say things to me that you could say to someone else, and it doesn't register that I'm going home and curling up in a ball and crying. Mm-hmm. But when you like tonight I asked you how my beard is.
And I said, I like the beard.
And I said, do you like the little gray stripes on the sides?
And I said, I do not like that.
And you said, no, you got to. Now, all I'm thinking, now that's nothing wrong with you saying that. That's a nice thing to say to me. It's honest.
I like the beard.
You were
look.
complimentary about the beard, and you're just telling me something that anyone would just say, oh, thanks, Jessica. That's good advice. Maybe I'll color it. And they just get on with their life. Mm-hmm. I want to cry like a baby. I want to crawl. I want to bang my head on the ground and say, "I'm so ugly. I'm so
but
ugly.
You're not
I'm so ugly." I am ugly.
I would not ever bring up anything with your looks ever. I don't think that you're.
I have
ugly
such
man.
low self-esteem with my looks, and I know I talk about it on the show too much. And we're gonna move on to other things.
You're not ugly.
He's not ugly.
He's
He's not ugly. And you know what? You're going to piss off a lot of ugly people. Because they're probably like, seriously?
Oh, can I tell you what's funny?
This guy is saying they're ugly?
God, I want to talk about other things, but now you keep making me think about things. I'm going to tell you why that is so true. So I'm seeing a therapist every week. I'm seeing a psychologist. And I want to tell him my issues of me thinking I'm an unattractive man and being ugly, and why I'm following this crazy Dina girl around who could give a shit about me, and she's what she is. And people tell me I should forget her and move on in my life. And I'm a good-looking guy. You know why I can't? Because I have such self-hatred. And I want to tell my therapist that, and I can't. I can't. You know why I can't? He's 500 fucking pounds. I can't sit there and tell a man who's 500 pounds. He has one of those bellies that's like, where could his penis be? Like, you know, one of those bodies where you wonder how he pees? Like, how does he shit? Like, he has one of the, you ever see people so fat you can't believe that they can poo?
Yes.
Like,
all
how
the
do
time.
they
I think about that all the time.
How do they grab their nut? Like, how do they clean themselves? Like, what, like that kind of fat. How am I going to tell that man that I feel ugly without him getting pissed at me and telling me to get the fuck out of his office? I can't do it. I need somebody more attractive than me to tell that I'm ugly. I can't tell somebody uglier than me that I'm ugly. Do you know what I mean? So it's really been a problem in my therapy. Anyway.
No,
So,
listen,
but
Chauncey. No, honestly, I think a lot of it is, and I had this idea of you too. I thought you're a total ball buster, so I'm gonna go at it with you.
right.
But I realized you're a lot thin. You don't have that thick skin.
I
that
do and I
imagine.
don't. See, I
You
do and I
you
don't.
Yeah,
I do and I don't. I've been lately. I haven't. Lately, I've been having a rough time, and you know how bad it's been. For the last 3 months, I go home and I curl up in a ball and I can't move. I pay someone to mow my lawn now because I can't even mow my lawn. I have weeds growing in my garden, which I never had. I was always anal about my garden at home. Like everything is perfect. There was any chip in the paint, I'd fix it right away. I can't do anything. I go home and I curl up in a ball, and I feel like I'm having a heart attack. I feel like my body is so soft and so out of shape because this has been going on since Memorial Day weekend, where I've gone home and done nothing but curl up on the couch. And just a few days ago, I started walking, and I walk a mile. That's what I do. I there's a park across the street, and I walk half mile around, 2 laps. And can you imagine how bad your life? I'm smiling, but it's really sad. Can you imagine how bad your life is, where you get to a point where just walking, like, you know, mental patients walk in circles. Do you ever see when they make mental people walk in circles?
Yeah.
I'm that guy now. I'm walking around the lake, around the duck pond, 2 laps just to shuffle my feet.
In your robe.
Basically in my
Yeah.
robe. Basically in my robe, mumbling to myself, 2 laps around the park, just so I'm moving my body a little bit. And it's amazing. I'm suffering from severe depression, and I take Lexapro, and I know I should probably take more. I don't know why. It's crazy. What's happening to me is crazy. Crazy. And I've always had problems, but never like this. Like, this is nuts. Like, this is crazy. Crazy what's happening to me. And it's over one girl. It's over a girl.
Doing anything,
it's over a girl.
Are you doing anything about it?
Yeah, I'm shuffling around the duck pond. I'm seeing a therapist, and I take my Lexapro, and I'm trying to do positive affirmations, and I'm trying to tell myself that I'm a better person than what I think I am, and stop thinking about this other person and move on in my life. And I'm having a hard time. It's so fucking weird. I'm having a hard time doing it. I'm having a hard time moving on with my life. I'm having a hard time. Anyway, so what I want to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
So Mike is probably thinking we should be moving on, and maybe we should. Unless you want more. You want more?
Is there any? How could there be more?
What?
There's more
about me?
insanity. Yeah. There's more crazy
I'll be
stuff.
okay. I think I'll be okay. I've never experienced anything like this before on this level.
And you've never had
Like, I understand.
two
I understand.
martinis
I've always had anxiety, but never clinical depression. Like, I'm okay with anxiety. I've suffered from anxiety my whole life. I know how to handle anxiety. I don't know how to handle. I've never had clinical depression before, and I think I'm suffering from clinical depression. It's really serious. Clinical depression is really serious. I've never had it, and it's
Are you really
disabling.
that depressed all day long?
All
You're
day
that
long.
Depressed.
All day long. I can't move. I physically can't move. Do you know what I did today? And I considered this. I'm laughing. I don't know why. I'm not even bullshitting. This is what I did today, and I considered this like running a marathon, like an accomplishment. Like, maybe I'm back on my feet again. 5 push-ups. I did 5 push-ups. The act of doing 5 push-ups was such an aggressive thing for me that I did it, and I was like, oh, wow, I just did 5 push-ups. I'm back.
So let me ask you this, Chaunce. You're going to a therapist. What's the therapist saying about this? Is the
He
therapist
listens.
like changing your medication?
No,
or?
no. Like they told me to up my medication, and I don't want to. I'm a 20 milligrams of Lexapro. I don't want to go to 30. They want me to. I don't want it. He doesn't say much. He listens to me, and he tells me why I'm acting out the way I'm acting about the issue that I have, which is about one person, and he tries to explain to me why I'm feeling this way and why I shouldn't feel this way. Like what he's trying to bring me back to reality. And he tries to explain, well, you were abused as a kid and you have low self-esteem and you're looking for this reinforcement with someone who, it's very clinical. And you walk out of there for 5 minutes feeling like you figured it out. But in 10 minutes, you're back to feeling like you want to curl up in a ball and just do nothing. And this girl's fucking with me. I don't. You know what it reminds me of? Did you ever remember Saturday Night Live and Adam Sandler? And he would have the show where he just had a picture of a girl, and it was Sharon Doherty, I think. What was it? Who was the girl?
Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking
and
about.
he would do a whole show on this one girl, and he would take calls about the girl. He would have guests come on that knew the girl. Jessica, it was probably before your time, but it was Adam Sandler, and it was so funny. And I don't want the show to become that, so I don't want to get into it too much. I'm just telling you, I'm clinically depressed, and I understand what depression is now, and I never knew before. When you think you're depressed, there's a big difference between depression and clinical depression. And where I'm at now, what's happening to me is amazing. It's educational. It's remarkable. It's so enlightening to feel what I feel because you can't believe you feel
How about
it.
this? Have you tried hypnosis?
I did that once, and it was such bullshit.
Was it?
Yeah, and the guy still IMs me all the time, offering free hypnosis for free advertising. I don't believe in it. I think it's total bullshit. Total bullshit. Hey, listen, I don't mean to bring everybody down. I have a fun show planned. I really do. Am I depressing everybody? Because I don't mean to. Seriously. I didn't mean to stay on this topic too long. I just got a lecture last week saying I talk about myself too much. And I talk about my sadness and my ugliness too much. And I said tonight I wasn't going to do it. I was going to talk about other things. And there are a lot of things I want to talk about. So, Jessica, nobody can hear you anyway. So you can throw insults at me from across the room. So I apologize to everyone listening. I hope people are at least listening and thinking, well, the guy is spilling his guts, so I'm going to sit in front of my computer and just watch this for a little bit and not tune out or say I suck again. Because there's 2 things you can do on a show like this, on a web show. 3 things. You can have a great celebrity guest and have a fascinating interview, and people can tune in and watch it. Or you can talk about what's in the news and be funny about it or have an angle about it that people either agree or disagree and it's controversial, like Bill O'Reilly or something like, you know what I mean? Like, or you can be like Chelsea Handler and be funny. You can go that way and talk about topics for an hour. Or you can sit here and dissect what's going on in your life personally, things that people don't talk about publicly, and hope that people give a shit enough to say, wow, that guy is dissecting what's going on in his personal life. That's fascinating, and I can't believe he's saying these things because this is real. Like, he's not bullshitting, and I'm going to sit here and listen to what the guy has to say because maybe I'm going through the same thing, or it's just I feel bad for the guy that he's going through it. So this is the only way the show's going to go.
By the way, the chat room is constantly saying, tell Chauncey, we're with him. We love Chauncey. We care about Chauncey. So people actually do care.
They do care?
They do care.
What? I don't have love. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Anyway, you know what I was going to talk about? You know what I wanted to talk about?
Sure.
No, I'm not even talking. Although, Jessica, you gave me a look at disgust before we started the show because I said I was attracted to Casey Anthony. Am I the only one that find? Am I the only one that finds her attractive?
No. It's not that he finds her attractive. You find her attractive because she's a pretty girl.
She's pretty. Am I crazy? She is pretty, right?
No. She's pretty.
She's my type.
But the fact that you're attracted to her is because you're crazy and you like the drama.
The drama.
So you want to bring her into your life.
She's so up my
that
alley.
She will
She's
ruin
so
the
up my
rest
alley.
Of it. He is just saying she's pretty. There's a difference. There's a difference.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. I think Casey Anthony is meant for me. Because I do like the drama and I like dysfunctional people. She's going to have trouble finding a guy that can sleep with her and be with her because she murdered her child.
She's already had marriage proposals. They had on CNN some guy with a ring and a...
No, I know, but they're crazy. I would really do it. I would seriously date her like a real guy. Like, I'm not a lunatic sending her marriage proposals.
So you're totally okay with the fact that
I
she
would
kills
have
her kid,
no...
allegedly.
Can I tell you something? I would take her to dinner. I would take her to a nice restaurant in the city. And I would hold her hand while we ate in a romantic, dark restaurant. And I would stroke the inside of her palm. And I would say, Casey, you're safe now. You're okay. You're with me. I'm not judging you. I don't care what happened. Obviously, you're hurt. Something terrible did happen. But we're going to move forward. And if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. I love you. And I'm your friend. And if you never want to talk about it, Casey... We will just cuddle all night. We'll spoon. I'll hold you. I'll hold you tight. I'll grab those breasts of yours, and we'll just spoon all night long.
This is played out in your head, which is what scares me.
Because she needs love too. I think I need love, and I think she needs love right now. And I don't think there's anyone that she can trust. There's nobody, because anyone that she's with is going to sell the story after a month for millions of dollars to the papers. I would not do that. I would love her. We would move away somewhere. I could help her with her projects. She's going to write a book.
Her projects,
she's got projects.
Like ceramics.
No, she's going to
décolleté.
She has projects coming up, and I would help her with all the deals that she's going to have to work out what direction she's going to go in. I don't want her going into celebrity rehab. I don't want her getting into porn. I would like her to write a book.
You want to see classy things.
I want to see her move forward, not backward. I don't want her to be the next Amy Fisher. I would first of all, I'd change her hairstyle completely because I think she needs to change her look because I think she's too recognizable. So we would cut her hair short, maybe even maybe like an inch short.
Because when the baby was killed, that's how her hair was. It was very short.
Yeah, no, I mean short. I mean like Ilian Gonzalez short.
Oh, why?
Because I think she needs that kind of dramatic change in her life. I mean, not a crew cut, but about an inch long. An inch? No, an inch. I'm talking an inch. It was not an inch. I know her life. I know her whole life. I know her life.
I want to kill my life.
I would get her. I would get her on her. She needs to work out. She's a little soft. I think she needs to. She needs to work on her body a little bit. But she doesn't need breasts.
She has back knee, though. That's the bad part. She has back knee. I saw that Bella Vita tattoo.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of back knee.
No, you know what that is? That's the jailhouse. That's the mattress.
No. That's before the jail. That's when she went to go get the tattoo.
She's fine. She doesn't need anything. She needs to cut her hair.
A little cellulite on the thighs.
She needs a little workout. She needs to work out a little bit. Needs to jog on a treadmill. We'd have a treadmill at home. I'm telling you, I would make her life perfect. And we would have children. And we would have a child. And we'd call it... Yeah.
If you had a child with Casey Anthony...
Yes, absolutely have a child with her.
Every time you left her alone with the kid, would you question is the day?
Nope.
Why?
Nope. Because I think whatever happened was an accident. And I think, if anything, it's almost like being in a plane crash and surviving. What are the odds of being another plane crash? It's not going to happen. No, she's not going to kill another kid. She's not going to kill another kid. She's not. It's like Michael Jackson. It's like, what are the odds of Michael Jackson molesting another kid?
Getting hit by lightning.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
That doesn't happen twice. Getting in a plane crash, that doesn't happen twice. The statistics go up when you kill one person, because once you have the ability to kill one person, you're going to have the ability to kill many more people.
They said no. It's only if you kill on purpose. When it's an accident, it doesn't. That whole gets easier factor does not apply. And if you do anything about killing people, you'd know that. It does not apply. Okay. When it's an accident, she made some bad decisions. It was an accident. She got herself into a web of lies because she didn't know how to deal with it. I think the family knew, and it spun out of control and became a big public media shitfest. I forgive her. There's nothing she can do to bring the little kid back. You move on. What are you gonna do? You're gonna kill her because she didn't murder. She didn't stick a knife in this kid and murder her. It was an accident. All right, she lied about it. She's sorry. You move on. What are you gonna do?
Right.
She needs love. And I think she's my type. That's all I want to say.
Write her a letter.
What?
We're very professional here.
Casey Anthony, if you're watching the show, if anyone watching the show knows how to get a hold of Casey Anthony, I would seriously date you. And I'm not even joking. It's not a publicity stunt.
Where would you take her out? So let's say she says yes, right?
We wouldn't go out in
Anthony.
public until she cut her hair.
You have to go. Okay, so she cuts her hair or maybe gets plastic surgery. Where do you take her out to dinner? Like, tell me your date with her.
We would go to a very, very private, obscure place.
Danielle's?
No, Danielle's. You don't go to Danielle's. That's
Maybe
the
in
most
the
public
back?
place you can go. Where you would go is one if by land, two if by sea.
Okay.
You would go to the back room where there's like 3 tables. You'd sit in the dark. The last table of the night, you don't go at 7 o'clock when all the people are going for dinner. You go you have a 9:30, 10 o'clock. Whatever the last reservation is when you go. So the restaurant is emptying out. And you sit there and you quietly have a dinner in the dark in the corner.
Glass of wine?
You don't make... Yeah, we could have a glass of wine. She probably needs a drink. She probably could use a drink right now.
What are you going to order? What do you eat? Is it like an Italian place?
What do you care what I'm eating?
No, I want to know
Why
what
do you
eat.
care? What does that have to do with my date?
It says a lot. It's a fish place. You're going for seafood.
I personally would go with the lobster.
Okay, you're going to go with a lobster.
And I would order...
What would Casey order?
Probably the salad because she's trying to lose some weight.
Okay.
For her big photo shoots coming up in Vanity Fair, wherever she's going to do. Stepping out.
Stepping
A big
out.
stepping out photo shoot. Oh, that reminds me, by the way. Okay, can we change this topic for 1 second? Because I just have to say this. So right now as we speak in L.A., I have a photographer shooting the next cover of Stepping Out. It's all the mistresses over the past year that I've been with a celebrity. And it's an exclusive photo shoot. It's Capri Anderson. It's... Oh my God! Who are all the Tiger Woods lunatics? It's everybody. It's the David Arquette girl. What's her name? Wheats or Wets or Jacket. It's all these girls. There's like 7 of them, and this is an exclusive for the GFQ network. It is the GFQ network, isn't it?
It is.
This is exclusive. They signed a reality TV deal. I'm going to be the first one to show them all in a photo together. And so I have this whole photo shoot that's taking place as we speak. Last night at 10 o'clock at night, the woman who's doing the, I guess, all the PR and organizing this whole thing, at 10 o'clock at night, she sends me a text message. By the way, it needs to be catered, and they need food, drinks.
Oh,
I'm like,
my God.
Does anyone know what Stepping Out is? Does anyone know what Stepping Out magazine is? Can you imagine? You've seen Stepping Out. Can you imagine doing a photo shoot in LA?
I was on the cover of Stepping
You
Out.
were on the cover.
December 2010.
Would you have the balls to say you need a catering truck and it needs to be, all the girls need lunch and food and craft services for the photo shoot? I mean, seriously, Cosmopolitan, Glamour, Vanity Fair. In this economy, nobody does that. I actually had to deal with that at 10 o'clock last night.
So let me ask you. So let's say I'm having my photo shoot next week, right? And I always wonder this: what could I have asked for you that I could have gotten? Could I have gotten a limo to the photo shoot?
No, nothing. I can't believe what you got. I can't believe what you got.
And I got a second
I can't
photo
believe you got
shoot
the
from
cover.
you.
What?
And I got a second photo shoot.
You got a second photo shoot. No, brother, it's incredible to me. So this comes out.
But what can you get? What can somebody get from you?
Nothing. I have no money. I have no money.
No, but can I get a limo to the shoot?
No.
Can I get maybe food?
No.
Can I get water?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing at all.
No, nothing.
So what do these people think?
They think they know why they're coming and Stepping Out, because nobody gives a fuck about them. If they wouldn't be, believe me, in this media world, they wouldn't be shooting the cover of Stepping Out if Entertainment Weekly or Rolling Stone was interested, or if In Touch or People.
Chauncey, that's a blatant lie because People magazine wanted me for the cover, and I actually
I don't know. It's
negotiated
no
with them.
Andrew. Listen, it's no insult to you, but come on, People magazine was not putting you on the cover. You know
They
that.
were.
They were
and
not.
I said no because I'm going on Stepping Out
Jessica,
that week.
talk him down. Talk him off the ledge. No.
It was Us Weekly.
No. People, but these
It
people.
was the Bayside Times.
These people think they're superstars. They really do. They think they're famous. They think they're big stars. And they're not. And I don't even know if they deserve Stepping Out, to be quite honest. I don't even know if they should be on the cover of Stepping Out. And I'm being asked if I should give them fucking lunch and drinks during a photo shoot. And I got them the top photographer in L.A. I got them the best of the best. And now they won craft services. That always cracks me up. Anyway, why are you even talking about that? That's next week's cover. You know what else? And can I say one other thing? How much time we have? Because
You have time. You can
do
go.
I?
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to talk about, and I really want your opinion. And I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny. In New York City, here in Manhattan, did you read about the little Jew kid who got cut in half or a million pieces?
So I saw some of this. I don't know the exact story, but it
All
was
right.
like breaking news, Fox 5. I haven't been watching local news for a while.
All right. I see. I'm obsessed with this stuff, and I'll tell you why.
Was it you?
No, I think they got the guy.
Okay.
For people who don't know who are watching the show, and I think it's a national.
By
news
the way, people like the fact that you refer to the child as a Jew kid.
Yeah, he's
Really
he's a
politi-
Jew.
Yes.
So is he a Jew kid?
He is, but you don't need to put it that way.
Oh, come on. What are you supposed to say? A Jew kid? The Jew kid?
A child.
No, he's a Jew.
Did
And
it
that's
have
part of the
anything to
story.
do- oh, is
That's
that part
part
of
of
it?
the
Okay.
story.
Okay.
It's editorial.
Okay.
If
You're
it
right.
wasn't part of the story, I wouldn't
Yes.
say he's a Jew kid.
Yes, you're an editor, I know.
So he's a Jew kid. He's an Orthodox Jew. He's got the little curly things.
Okay.
What do they call them?
The curly things.
Jessica,
a
you're
Hasi.
you're brilliant. What are the curly things called on Jews, Orthodox Jews? Are you offended by them?
You're part Jewish. Your name is Jessica. It's a Jewish name.
No, I really don't know what those are called. But I know that the little things that they hang off their
See,
pants, they have like string. It's called blue fringe.
how do you know that?
Because I know someone who had.
Wait, nobody can even hear you. Don't even bother telling me because you're so far. But it, because I'm interested in the story, but I just know only I can hear you. So I'm obsessed with the story because I'm obsessed with those people. I'm obsessed with the Orthodox Jews and what they do to their children. They make them walk around with the little curlies and the shaved sides, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a racist thing. I find it fascinating. I find the culture a fascinating culture. And I honestly think it's cruel what the parents do because I don't think a child should be made to look that way in this society because I think it separates them from the world and it makes them I don't know, separatist, which is I think is wrong.
Well, it's the same for the Muslim kids.
Oh, the Amish.
You know,
The Amish.
The Amish. They even
Right.
you know the what are they called? They're not all Muslims, but
the guys with the weird.
the turbans.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that. I mean that's tough. Even the women
But
that
there's
go around
something.
with their head
But
tied
there's
up.
something about the Orthodox Jews and their children that depresses me. I can handle the turbans. I can handle all the other bullshit, weird shit out there. I can handle the Amish kids with the little funny hats, the straw hats, and the little horse and buggies. But there's something so disturbing about the Orthodox Jewish children that makes me upset. It makes me upset. And then I see this little boy, this little Orthodox Jew boy, walking down the street, and they have it on videotape, and to get picked up by somebody, taken back to an apartment, and chopped up into little pieces is beyond belief to me, and I can't get that thought out of my head. And I think I'm insane. Like I know I have problems, but what kind of mind takes a little Jewish child with weird little curly things off the side of his head, which I think is sad to begin with, which I'm already sad for that boy. why would you then take him and chop him up into little pieces?
Let me see. What kind of ethnicity was the guy that killed?
I think he was. I think he was the same way.
Really? Oh, so
I think it's that they all because they live in those neighborhoods. They all live in packs.
So maybe it had to have been either A, he was mentally.
Do you think? What I want to know is, do
or
you think
B,
it
there
was
was some
sexual?
sort of.
No, I think it's sexual.
You think it's sexual?
I think it's like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I mean he got off.
Remember what he did? Remember he cut them up, but he wanted to. I think he mouth fucked them while they were heads. Like he would cut their heads off.
Well, some of them, and then he would sleep with the arms, and then he would keep it in the freezer.
I think when you cut somebody up into little pieces, I think it's a sexual thing. I honestly do, and I think this guy masturbated to what he did. I honestly do, and I'm just so obsessed with the story because they found this kid in the freezer. They found him in the freezer. They found him in millions of places, but part of him was in the fucking freezer.
See,
and you watch him walking down the street.
I haven't been watching local news.
You know
for
why?
Like
Because it wasn't a story about your hair.
It wasn't about.
If it was about your hair, you would have watched the story.
I definitely would have. It wasn't on Nancy Grace, so I don't.
Nancy Grace would never talk about little Jew boys.
No,
she's never going to do it.
No,
I can't get enough of this story. Because they keep showing the footage of the little. You probably don't know this. His parents walked him home every day from day camp. They have a little Jew day camp where they go, and their parents would take him to the camp, and then they take him home. And he said to them, "Please let me walk home alone. I'm 9 years old. I can come home. I don't need my parents to walk."
You know what? That's stupid by the parents. That's way too young to be walking home. 9 years old is way too young.
Fucking day they let him walk home alone, he gets cut into millions of pieces.
Yeah.
Who does that?
You know what?
Who does
that? They should live with that guilt.
Who, the parents?
Yeah, absolutely. They should live with that guilt. It's their fault. You should not allow a 9-year-old in New York City to walk home. That's disgusting.
You know what? My
ever
question
do
is,
that.
was he kosher?
He could have been.
You think that's a bad question?
Those parents should live with Jewish guilt.
Well, you know what? I don't think they care. I don't think all the.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean,
I don't think those people. I don't think if you make a child walk around with those little curly things off the side of his head, I don't think you could care about that child's feelings. Because
Chaunce,
if you did care about his feelings, you wouldn't make him walk around like that in a world like we live in today.
Let me ask you: at what age were you allowed to walk home alone?
When I grew up, I'm old. When I grew up in New York City, and when I was 7 years old, I went to school, Lady Queen of Martyrs in Inwood in Manhattan. I went to school by myself, first grade. It was no problem, because it was an Irish Catholic community, and nobody fucked with you.
Jess, how about you? No, but I mean, 13, 14. Mike, how about you? Growing up, what age were you allowed to go walk home by yourself? 9, 10. See, but
no.
Yeah, you're yeah.
No, I grew up in Manhattan. I grew up in the city.
6th grade was the first time I walked home alone. 6th grade. So I was 12.
You know what's ironic?
12 years old.
I didn't get molested, and
no, 6th grade. How old are you in 6th grade? 11.
I was 13 in 9th grade.
And
no, well, how old was I then?
Anybody in the room ever come close to getting molested or being abused sexually? Jessica, never. Andrew, never.
No, but there was a weird guy on the block that you knew never to go near because he had done stuff like that.
There was a flasher at my high school.
Well, you heard. Did you ever hear my story about getting abused? Sexually abused?
Say it again, because I think you told us early on, but
this is an honest to God story. When I was 17 years old, I was 18. I had just got out of high school, right, in New Jersey. And I was training for boot camp. I joined the Navy, and I was trying to get in shape for boot camp. Not that you need to be in shape for the Navy. Like, who the fuck has to be in shape for the Navy? But I was treating it like it was Marine boot camp. And there was a high school behind my house where they had a track. And every day I'd go to the high school, and I'd start jogging around the track to get in shape. And there was a man, and this is such a true story. There was a man there who was a short, he must have been in his early 50s, little dumpy fat guy with a bald head. And he would sit on a lawn chair in the middle of the track. And this is like in June, July, in the summer. And
how old are you?
I was 18.
18, okay. So you're an adult.
I'm 18.
You're
18,
a man.
Well, 18. It's very. You say man. There's all different levels of 18. So I'm 18. I'm driving on track, and he comes over to me and he says, "You look like you're in great shape." He goes, "I'm an ex-Marine drill sergeant. I train a lot of the athletes to come down to the track. If you want, I'm here all day. I'll train you." And I thought that was the great. I played sports all through high school. I ran track.
This is the nicest man ever.
I thought this was the nicest man ever. I said, I'm out of high school and I still have a coach. He's gonna get me in shape for boot camp. This is great. So he goes, "Come back tomorrow at the same time, and I'll work you out." And I'm like, "This is fucking great. I got a coach." So I came back the next day, and there he is on his lawn chair, and he goes, "Okay, come behind the bleachers." I'm like, "Great, we're gonna work out." He took me behind the bleachers. And he says, "Okay, I do a Marine. I'm an ex-Marine. I do a Marine workout." I'm like, "Great, amazing. Let's do it. Let's do it." He goes, "Tension." He goes, and I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I said attention," and he slaps me in the ass really hard.
Was he a real Marine?
Ow.
Do you think he?
You
was?
listen to the story and you tell me. So he slaps me in the ass really hard, and I'm like, "Wow, that really hurt." Like, I better get an attention. So I get an attention, and he says, "Spread those legs," and he kicks my legs apart, and now my legs are spread open behind the bleachers. And he goes, "All right, we're gonna do calisthenics." He goes, "I want you to touch your right hand to your left foot and hold it." So I go, "This is great. I'm gonna do some stretching." So I go down and I stretch, and I'm bent over, my ass sticking up, grabbing my foot. And then he goes, "Hold it." I said, "Hold it." And he starts slapping my ass really hard over and over again. And I'm being spanked like a bitch. And I'm thinking, this is the best workout I've ever fucking had.
Oh, my God.
This guy knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, he's masturbating behind me. Fucking totally masturbating. And I never knew. God strike my mother dead if I'm lying. I swear this is a true story. 10 years went by. 10 years.
You're 28 now.
I'm at a red light in my car. I'm just sitting there at a red light, and all of a sudden I go, "Holy fucking shit, that guy was jerking off." 10 years later, it didn't even dawn on me. I was at a red light, and I just was thinking back on my life, and I realized this guy was fucking totally molesting me behind the bleachers, and and did it for like the whole summer. The whole summer.
God.
I was this guy's little sex slave for the summer. Never knew it until 10 years later. And I actually went home, called the cops, told them the story. And I said, "This is going to sound like the craziest thing you've ever heard. 10 years ago, this is what happened." And they said, "Oh, no, we know the story. And we got the guy. He was you and like 1,000 other guys. We got him. He's in jail now."
Oh, my God.
I swear to God. It was happening to me. I had no fucking clue.
How did you realize that he was masturbating behind you?
Because this is the sound. This is the sound I heard. Because he had me doing all kinds of weird calisthenics, and it was always him standing behind me, and always me grabbing my fucking feet. It's always about my ass all the time. And this is what he would do. I said, "Grab your feet." And I just thought he had asthma. Like I really thought he had a.
You never turned around?
No, you weren't allowed to. You were told you couldn't. And then he would make me run 2 miles. He'd go, "I want you to run 2 miles in 15 minutes and be back here behind the bleachers in 15 minutes, or I'm going to punish you." And I would run really hard to get back behind those bleachers before I had to be punished. And I swear to Jesus Christ, it wasn't gay. I really thought I was working out. Like I thought, this is boot camp. This is what it's like.
Well, he prepared you for the Navy.
Boot camp. What?
He prepared you for the Navy.
He prepared me for the Navy. That's right. He prepared me for the Navy. You can't make this shit up.
Have you ever tried to get in touch with him?
No. He's probably dead. I'm assuming he's dead.
If he's not, do you have any interest to ever confront him?
I do. No, I do. Actually, I do. If he was alive, I would love to interview him. If I could have one guest on this show, it would be that guy. If I could have a guest, Mike wants the swamp guy. Tony, what's his name, Mike? Troy. Mike righted Sapphire wants Troy. We're going to fly him in, I think, for next week. Andrew, who would you have? If you could pick one guest, who would it be on the show?
Of all time.
We could pick one guest.
One guest. I would have Howard, and I would have him sit right across from you and talk to you for an hour. About
all the shit we went through.
About everything you've gone through.
Really?
I would love to hear that.
And I would have the guy who molested me.
And you would have the guy who molested you. But, both people, very uncomfortable interview for you.
They'd all be uncomfortable.
Yeah, they both would be uncomfortable. Probably the same level of being uncomfortable.
You think?
Yeah.
Howard, it would be worse with Howard.
He'd probably be more uncomfortable, yeah.
You know it's going to be more uncomfortable? Tomorrow. You know what I'm doing tomorrow? How much time do we have? Because I want to tell you the story before we go.
You could tell the story, and then we can wrap up.
All right. I told Mike write the story before the show started. And I shouldn't even say this on the air because I always think no one's listening. And then it always comes back to haunt me because someone's going to tell somebody. So I want everyone's opinion. If you're watching this show, I want to know if this is a douche move or not. And Andrew, Jessica, I want your opinion. All right. And this is where the bad karma comes in because I have douche chill feelings about what I'm doing tomorrow. So maybe it is wrong. Tomorrow, Channel 9 here in New York, which is owned by Fox, is filming me do a photo shoot with one of the stars of a reality show. I'm not going to say what star yet. I'm going to wait because I know someone's going to contact her and it'll kill the show, kill the shoot. So there's a big reality star who I'm doing a photo shoot with tomorrow, and she thinks she's doing the shoot because Fox and Channel 9 want to do a cover story feature on Stepping Out, like how we shoot our covers. It's not what it is. It's a show. It's a feature about how I make unattractive people attractive.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh,
my God. So this person thinks this person has no clue.
Give Jessica the mic, please. Please. So listen, Friday, they're coming to my office to watch me make her beautiful. Douche move?
No. Okay. Yes, but only...
Look at Mike, and Mike knows her. Mike's laughing because Mike's laughing because he knows her. And Mike, am I right? Like she's not as pretty as I make her look.
Does she think she's pretty?
Yes. Oh, she thinks she's.
And have you shot her before?
Millions of times.
Does she think that those photos of her are 100% and not?
I listen. I don't know what goes on in her head. But Mike will tell you, I've shot this girl naked in my bed, and I shot her. I shot this girl completely naked in my bed.
By the way, it was a really good shot too.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
remember the photos?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're.
She looks amazing, right?
She does.
I was just looking at it. They're on my.
She does, and she doesn't look anything like that. No, you're right.
She looks nothing like. You know what she looks like.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like that. And this is what I'm gonna do on Fox. Am I a douche?
Yeah, but I would still do it.
Really?
I would still do it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What? See, so does that make you a
definitely
bad person?
Yes.
Like, so we're all bad people.
Yes.
We're bad people.
I never claimed to be a good person
But what makes it a douche move?
because she doesn't know.
I told no. I had to.
If
I
you
had to
told
listen.
her-
No, I had to tell Fox. I actually had to tell Fox. I said, when we're doing a shoot, don't mention the photoshopping. Don't mention anything. Just come and shoot the B-roll.
Can you Photoshop a big GFQ stamp on her fat belly?
That's mean. I said, why do you have to say that? That was cruel.
It's not mean.
First of all, nobody can even hear you. But that was cruel. No, she's not unattractive. She just doesn't look as good as I
When
make
you're
her
done
look.
with her, she's not.
If I was laying in bed at 3 a.m. and had a couple of bottles of vodka, I would not turn. If she walked into my bed.
Bottles.
If you were sober.
No. I'm only kidding. If I was sober, if she came in, I would fuck her in a second. In a second,
Mm-hmm.
I would fuck her. And I don't think there's anybody in this room who wouldn't. Jessica.
Fine.
I think
Absolutely.
she's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I just make them smoking hot. Like I make them smoking hot. I take any flaw that you could possibly have and I remove it. And if you're a little overweight, I make you.
But why would you say this on air now? Why wouldn't you wait till next week to say this?
Because I'm so self-destructive.
There might be like a slight chance that I didn't know who you were talking about, and then I figured it out.
I'm talking about Amy Fisher.
Of course, but if we were, I'm just saying it's very likely that it could get back to her. So why would
Do you think it is likely?
Yeah, I think it is.
No, I'm talking about Amy Fisher. I'm talking about.
Oh.
Say it with me.
Yes, Amy Fisher, yes.
What's the last name?
Fisher?
Fisher.
Is it?
Amy Fisher.
Yes.
And if anybody else happens to come to the shoot, if anybody else comes to the shoot, That's great. But I'm gonna really fix Amy up tomorrow.
And she doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
Whatever.
I'm a douchebag.
You
I'm
are,
such a
but
douchebag.
you know
I'm
what?
such a douchebag.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that you're wrong for not telling her.
Right.
But I wouldn't not see now. And
How
then,
do you can't tell somebody that?
No,
you
no,
can't.
no. I you're a
And
bad,
am I going
you're
to
a
blow?
bad person.
Am I going to blow a feature that's going to air in
No.
August on a New York affiliate
No.
that promotes
You-
how great the covers of stepping out magazine covers
no,
are?
you wouldn't.
You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't pass that up.
But then you wouldn't talk about it on air. And then when
Would
she
you?
told
All right, let me ask you,
screaming,
Jessica.
I would have been like, I had no idea.
I didn't know how they would edit it. I didn't know what they were doing. Would you be
Right.
mad at me if I said, Jessica, would you mind coming to a photo shoot tomorrow? And I just want to shoot you.
That wouldn't surprise me if you did do that to me. For all the shit I've said to you,
Would you
over
be
the years,
upset?
I could see that 100%.
But
That you
would you be
call
upset?
Everyone, yeah.
You'd be hurt. You'd be hurt.
Of course, it's a hurtful thing that you're doing. What do you mean? It's a horrible thing. Just the way that you say that you crawl up into a ball, that's her future, honey. She'll be crawling up in her little ball.
It's so horrible. I can't believe it. All right. Anyway, so we'll talk.
Whatever.
Next week when we're back, I'll tell you how it went down.
All right.
We'll catch up on everything else. I don't know. See, Mike wasn't here tonight. I think it was a better show because Mike wasn't here.
It was a much better
show when Mike's not here.
It was
Compared to
one of your
Andrew, compared to
better-
last week, how would you describe this
Oh
show?
my God, a fucking 20.
Compared to last week.
Oh my God. Last week was like a -4. This is.
Yeah, Mike's excited because we're gonna have the guy from Swamp. What's it called? I don't even know. Swamp People. We're gonna have the guy from Swamp People on the show next week. I guarantee it. You're gonna have to fly this guy in. You know that. All right. So Mike issued me a challenge. He said if I can get one of the stars of Swamp People on the show, he'll fly him in from Louisiana and put him up in a hotel. So this is the moment of truth. I'm calling you out on it. I'm making this happen. All right. And do I get anything for that? If I make this happen, you should do something. You know what you should do?
Foam.
No. Foam.
We got foam.
I was thinking Vegas. I'm thinking just give me. Can't I go to Vegas with you once, Mike? Just once. Can I go? Why can't I go? Why can't I come? Why can't I go to Vegas once? I can't. Can I? That's not happening to me.
Mike, forget about Vegas. We just want the foam for the glass.
Just get the
That's
foam.
all I
Just
need.
get the foam.
I'm thinking like he wanted foam party. Like I'm thinking foam, like the 90s.
What is this, Metropolis in
I
Queens
know what I was thinking. I'm
Boulevard?
not even kidding. Do you know what I thought he said at first? I thought it was about foam for your vagina, so you don't get pregnant. You know the foam they put inside you?
No.
Yeah, don't they still use that?
No.
They stick foam in you so you can't.
Uses that anymore.
No?
Spermicide?
Spermicide. You can't get that?
No, I don't know. I've never used
Spermicide foam. That's what I thought he was talking about. Anyway, listen.
Yeah, Mike, I want spermicide foam for my vagina. That's what I need. If Chaunce could get this guest. Yeah, that's what I
Well,
need.
We've had a fun night. We learned a lot of things tonight. We'll be back next week. We're broadcasting live from the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in New York City, the world's greatest gentlemen's club. We'll be back 8 o'clock next Wednesday. See you then. Good night.